major breaking news and pictures just into the newsroom. Sunrise can show you the first images of the suspected Easey St killer right now being extradited back to Melbourne from Rome. Live to Cassie Zervos at Doha Airport. Cassie, you have just been on that flight from Rome to Doha with Perry Karumblis. Explain how police do this.
Well, Nat, this has been a mammoth extradition process. The 65-year-old was taken to the airport, the international airport at Rome today. It was under Italian authorities, and the handover with Victoria Police happened at a small police station at the airport. Now, you can see that in these pictures, he was escorted off a private bus onto the plane. He was the first one onto the aircraft. There was about 3 senior homicide detectives with him. It's important to note, too, he wasn't handcuffed and he was very casual in his appearance. When I spoke to Italian authorities, they said that he's a very quiet man. He doesn't say much, and during his whole time in prison, he refused to speak to prison guards. Now, on the flight itself, he had 2 homicide detectives on either side of him and 1 in front of him as well. During the 5-hour flight from Rome to Doha, we saw him. He was served food, he had a drink, he was given some plain snacks. He even had a chance to watch a movie. And halfway through the flight, I noticed that he was able to get up and take himself to the bathroom. The homicide detectives escorted him there, of course, but he was basically free to walk himself to the back of the plane. The aircraft itself was pretty busy. There were tourists travelling into Doha onto Melbourne, which is the flight that I will be on with the accused double murderer. So this is the first leg part of the extradition now complete. Right now I'm in the Doha airport. He was the last one on the aeroplane. So basically what happened is they made sure all of us got off before they took him off. And he's been taken to a secluded area at the airport here where he'll stay with the homicide squad until the flight back to Melbourne, which is in about 3 hours. And the flight to Melbourne is about 13 to 14 hours. So there's still a long journey ahead. And once he's back to Melbourne, of course, he'll be taken to police headquarters where I'm told the interview process will be quite quick. My sources have said that charges are very much imminent. He'll be charged over the Easey St cold case murders, which is just a huge breakthrough for, of course, the families of those of the victims. And once that happens, he'll go to the Melbourne Magistrates Court for a brief filing hearing, and he'll be remanded. So we're in Doha. It's the first part's over, but there's another big part, big journey ahead, getting him back to Melbourne now.
Yeah, so formal charges not laid, but are expected to be when he gets back to Melbourne. Just as far as the plane, what are other people around him thinking? Are they talking to you and saying, what is up with this?
Yeah, well, bizarrely, there was another alleged criminal on the flight from Rome. He was going to India. So there were 2 accused criminals on the aircraft, on this Qatar aircraft, which was quite bizarre. In terms of other people, yeah, of course, like when I got up and started filming, they wanted to know who he was, what he was wanted for, and I was limited in what I wanted to say as well, because you don't want to freak out other passengers on the aircraft. But he was very quiet, and the moment when I sort of walked behind him, I noticed that he was watching a movie. I wasn't sure what one it was, but yeah, you wouldn't know if you didn't know who he was or what was going on. You would just assume that he was another passenger travelling through Doha and onto Melbourne.
Yeah, okay. Cassie Zervos there at Doha Airport, about to board that plane with Perry Karumblis, who is expected to be charged with the Easey St murders later today in Melbourne. Thank you very much. We'll cross back to you soon.